Hey, how we doing today? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to get an operating authority for your trucking business. Well, the first question really is, well, what is operating authority? And I think of operating authority as basically getting permission from the government to move people or property across state lines and being able to receive payment for it. Basically being able to get paid to move freight across state lines. Okay? But in order to do that, you need to get permission from the government. Well, where do you go to get permission from the government? One of the websites you guys need to get familiar with is the FMCSA website, because it's the FMCSA that actually issues out the authority. So where do you go to get your operating authority? You're going to go to the FMCSA.dot.gov. And FMCSA stands for Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. That's the government agency that's responsible for a lot of the regulations for truckers out there. Okay, so what's the first step in getting your operating authority? Well, the first step in getting the authority is actually submitting an application. So you have to actually apply for it. And you apply through this website. And the application is general stuff you would expect. You know, the name of your trucking company, the address, the contact information for the officers or one of the officers, EIN number, what type of freight you intend to run, that sort of thing. Just sort of general business operation questions. You're going to apply at the FMCSA website. And then once you apply, you're going to get a DOT number, and then you're going to get an MC number. And the fee for that application is $300. And then that's your DOT and your MC number. Okay? So you go through, you do the application. That's the first step. And then the second step is a form called BOC3 has to then be filed with the FMCSA. BOC3. And there's a separate video on my channel where I talk a little bit more about BOC3. But basically, you need to have an agent in every state that can receive legal documents, any type of legal paperwork on your behalf. You can pay a company to do it. I think when I went through this process, I paid the company like $30, and then they filed the BOC3 on my behalf with the FMCSA. Now, the third step is actually getting your proof of insurance. One of the steps in getting your authority is that your broker, your insurance broker, or your insurance agent, or your insurance company actually then files a proof of insurance document with the FMCSA. And depending on what type of freight you're going to be hauling, you're going to need at least a $750,000 liability insurance policy on file with the FMCSA. All right, so after the application's filed, then you filed the BOC3, and then you filed your proof of insurance. Now you're waiting for the FMCSA. So the FMCSA then reviews all these documents, and then they're going to make the decision whether to grant your authority or not. And then that means whether they're going to say that your MC number is active, and the active authority is what ultimately gives you permission to move that freight. So you're going to wait until you receive your certificate from the FMCSA. And in that certificate, I have one right here. It says, this certificate is evidence that the carrier's authority to engage in transportation as a common carrier of property, except household goods, by motor vehicle in interstate or foreign commerce. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you need to wait until you get your certificate from the FMCSA that tells you you can legally haul the freight now. And once you do get that certificate, that's a very important document. Make sure you keep it. Make sure you save it, because you're going to need to give that you're going to need to have that document further down the road for like plates and other things and carrier packets and things like that when you start really running freight. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Be sure to give it a thumbs up on the way out if it was, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.